which is cool. But yeah, all right. Well, hello everyone. This is Andreas Pocoach, okay? Me, Jeff, and Cyber are back again for another spectacular Penguin episode 3, and then of course Daryl Dixon season 2, episode 2, live recap slash discussion. I hope you guys have a good night. So yeah, how's everyone's night so far?
Good.
Oh, that's good.
Fuck you, Time Cop.
Fuck you. What the hell I did, sir? I mean, anyway, if Jeff and this with that, I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, oh, if you saw, if everyone knows that I'm still very sick. I'm very sore from my allergies. I had a really bad Saturday, like, I don't know, allergy attack. So I was very congested. So I'm still recovering. So if you see me just not having that energy, it's just because of that. So anyway, I got my notes here. Let's get into it. Spectacular episode of the Penguin. Still not disappointing. Was probably the best filler episode. It gave us more about Vic as a character, which is great. It gave us the relationship between Sophie and Penguin, like well developed and without flashbacks. Very curious about the ending. So let me get into this episode. So we go back to the flashback of the first Batman movie with the ending of the explosion of the walls, the sea walls, where we see the first time Victor visiting his family, planning to introduce them to a friend, but although the father disapproved of the friend here because he knows that he's probably working with Squid, a well-known drug dealer in Gotham. But yeah, Vic vows that he doesn't do that. So Vic goes out and see his girlfriend, Garcia, or Garcia, or something like that. The girl that texts him, the previous episode. What we're kind of curious about. We got confirmation that's his girlfriend that he's had for a while. So they hanging out with the friend here. And this part here, Victor and everyone up top of the roof of the building witnessed the multiple explosions that we saw from the Batman here across the Gotham scene, destroying the seawall, as I mentioned. And the distance, Victor sees the flooding hitting his house, so basically killing his whole family, which is tragedy. So we got a little background of like that part of Vic, which is going to be very important throughout this episode. Now, cutting back to the present day, Sophie. So Vic gets introduced to Sophie for the first time. Very tense scene. She just sees him, and he drops a couple of things about him. He's a mechanic and all that, just like his father was during the opening. So after Oz is finished with his coal, they go out, and Sophie introduced Oz to her drug operation that she's was developing, a new drug that was used on her and other inmates at Arkham Asylum. And Oz, or I guess her and Oz are going to name it Bliss. So that's the main title of the drug and the main title of this episode. And so to build a new operation base, Oz gets to meet with Link, Link Chash. Sorry, very Chinese name, I guess. Link Chash, a trade member in the city. So this is actually from the comic books. The trade is it's kind of like a Chinatown gang in Gotham City. They're from the comic books, so they're meeting them. So Link is in bad terms with Oz. He only accepts to work with them if they get Johnny Vito's support, the high mafia person that's working with Sophie's uncle. And so as he waits, so after this, we cut in between this where, Vic is waiting for Oz and Sophie outside. Victor is approached by a police officer who confiscates his huge amount of money that Oz gave him at the beginning of this episode. So this was a great scene, a very funny one where Vic is tricked this very pretty much corrupt cop here. So after that, let's see here. While while he's, I think, texting to his girlfriend. Victor finally reveals he works for Oz to her during this apartment. So again, here there, when she doesn't like the idea, he compares her to his late father uh, of the situation right now. So anyway, so let me stop here. Just get back to my composure. So let me start with Cyber here. I'm starting with the flashback and ending to the part where Victor gets approached by the police officer, but he tricks the police officer to take his huge sum of cash. What you thought about this opening sequence, Cyber?
Well, just like you said, sir, this is a really amazing episode to start off with. Really great beginning. The flashback, which the only problem I have with the flashback is they didn't really set it up to say it was a flashback right away. So I did not like that. But otherwise, it was a great flashback, showing that his family was killed by the outpouring of water from the ocean because of the Riddler. I was like blown away by that. I was like, wow, way to connect it to the Batman. Great job, guys. And I thought that was done really well. And, the introduction of kind of the other people he was associated before he just went in the direction he went in that led him to the Penguin. And, having that girlfriend and stuff like that, that was interesting. And so, moving on with that, present day, Victor meeting Sophia for the first time, that was really good. I thought that the exchanges were done well. I thought the acting was good. I thought the whole scenario was very interesting and told you what would be like if you were like this, kid coming into this giant world of the mafia, not really knowing much about it, but getting pulled in somehow because you happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time type of deal. And that was really interesting. Sophia always, like I said, I feel that Christina Milano does a great job. Melati does a great job of acting. I enjoyed her performance. I thought it was well done again in that sequence. And leading up to them going to see the Asians, the kingpins over in Asia Town. I love that scene where he's like he's sitting in the car and the cop pulls up behind him. You're just like, what the hell? What's going on here? It's parked. Like he's not doing anything. Like what the hell is this cop's deal? And basically saying that he's in this like towaway zone basically, and he ends up tricking the guy to take his buddy to get him out of the way was really ingenious. It really shows that Victor is learning. He's learning about that world. And I think that was a great little starter showing us kind of his progress from the first episode to this episode. So I think a really solid beginning, of the episode. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I do agree too. Vic is sort of learning because this episode is very important for him to know: is he going to commit to this life of crime? Because that's something he's struggling right now. With his girlfriend kind of resurface, and seeing what he's been doing. I don't know how many days or whatever. So Jeff, let me ask you, what's your opinion on the opening's flashback, and then up to that, corrupt police, taking Vic's money and all that.
Well, I didn't like the corrupt police officer stealing Vic's money because Vic earned that money. You know what I'm saying? Like that was his money, that was his pay. So I felt bad for him, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a good moment for him. It was cool. He looked good and all that. But like still, that was his whole like it feels like he's been working for the Penguin forever. Like he's been working his ass off, and everything, right? So like it was good to see him getting paid finally, I was kind of wondering when he was going to get paid. So it was unfortunate watching him have to part with his entire paycheck or whatever, That was disappointing. I was hoping the Penguin would give him the money back, but he didn't. What are you going to do? So I like the flashback. I don't mind that they didn't set it up as a flashback and then just used the actual scene itself, to explain, what we were getting, right? And you had to watch the Batman to know what was happening. That was cool. I like that. Very bold move on their part to make that connection like that. In the show. But it's good. It's good connective tissue because it's good to remember the Batman because the Batman is the Penguin's origin story, right? So it's a good tie back to have him, have us go back. I enjoy it. I do. I like the flashbacks. I enjoy flashbacks in general, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of them in the show, to be honest with you. But I really enjoyed the highlighting of Vic in the episode, right in the beginning, and the continuation of the dynamic between the Penguin and Vic. Like their relationship is really interesting to watch in the episodes. I thought that Andreas, you put it well when you said that this was like a filler episode, but really good, or whatever you said. It was fillerish at first. I was like, okay, here comes the filler episode finally, right? Like we're gonna get one, But then it stayed true to form, like the rest of the Penguin, and was very captivating and like very, very watchable. Like really kept you engaged, and very engaging, and very very well paced. I thought the pacing was really good in this episode, and I think that that actor that plays Vic is going to end up from the series walking away with a lot of heat. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of fire, like a lot of, smoke coming off of him, right? Because he's handling his business, and they gave him a nice big character to play with, So and of course I like Sophia too. The actress is great. She's a great character, very, very engaging, very interesting on screen, very attractive, and like also kind of like evil, and kind of like mentally ill, kind of too. So very interesting, very, very multi-layered character that's fun to watch. And that's pretty much all I got.
No, that's good. Yeah, I thought as well it was going to be a filler episode until I think we got into like the bathroom scene where Vic and Penguin talk, which we'll get into, because that was fantastic. But also getting like plot points right away, like getting into the dinner scene here. So after that,
it's obvious that it's I don't mean to cut you off, Andreas, but it's obvious that they're trying to inject action and violence into every episode. So I would expect them to continue them doing that episode by episode. And it reminds me of like The Sopranos, kind of.
Yes. Yeah. And it's not convenient that they're in HBO, which is great. Plus, I mean, this is how the best superhero movies take a particular genre of film, like like The Dark Knight is like a crime film, as we just discussed in our movie review of The Dark Knight. This show is doing literally that. Like we're taking the crime drama aspect and make it into the Penguin show, which is great because I mean, everyone knows the Penguin is the most sane villain of the Batman Rose Gallery, and like he is the biggest crime boss in Gotham. So it's really great that this show knows about the Penguin. And also
another thing too, Andres, that's interesting, Cyber, is that with these TV shows, there's the opportunity to actually get nominated for Emmys and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And like actually get awards for this stuff. Whereas with the superhero films, they don't get Oscars. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't get nominated for Oscars. Like the Academy steers away from those films. So like I wouldn't be surprised if the Penguin is nominated for Emmys. Probably it's very well reviewed.
Yeah, and I think people are talking about it still, which is great, especially now with I don't want to bring this up, but Trigger 2, flopping. Like, it's like this show is the perfect example of how to do a villain centric story, in Marvel, DC, whatever. So, and speaking of the Emmy, we'll get into one scene that I think Colin Farrell will definitely be nominated for an Emmy, because we'll get into it, because I think that will get his Emmy nomination this year or whatever. But getting back to recap, so we cut back to now Oz and Victor having this dying here for lunch, right? And this is where they kind of have a little powwow for each other, because they're partners, right? This is where Victor opens up about his family. And like this is where you would get the reveal of the father, was a cook, besides being a mechanic, as we get mentions of. And he includes how he never tasted other luxury meals like Oz has recent here. And I want to point out a really great scene here where Vic, they're trying to order the meals, and like Vic is trying to say steaks, something, and the waiter is waiting, and he knew what he was trying to say, but Penguin got really upset here. One of the things I still appreciate the show remembering is the disability that Penguin and Vic has, and like Penguin doesn't like to be like helped by his disability. Like, he's very uncomfortable, about this notion. Like, yeah, I know I have a disability, but it doesn't mean I need help, or like he doesn't like this notion that like we're special, with this like condition that we have. And so he tells Vic that the waiter should wait what you were trying to say, because you have to learn to say it. So he's really trying to help Vic and trying to mentor this kid here. And then simultaneously, this is a mission, because he recognized one of these girls here, and he comes up to her and is like, I'm trying to remember here, because again, I was taking a lot of meds here, so I can't remember what I think he said to the lady, but he got confirmation about the affair that Johnny has with the Luca Falcone's wife. So Oz, and this was my favorite scene. This is where I thought, oh, we're not in a filler episode, because I was so happy that Oz and Sophie caught Johnny with the affair, and so they got him on their hand, like in their grasp. They can blackmail him finally, And this scene was a great one because, Johnny is being very cocky. First off, Johnny is so stupid. He's one of those arrogant fuckers is going to get killed by the end of the show. I know that. And plus, not because in the comic books he is the first victim be dead in the Long Halloween, but whatever. But like, he's going to be fucking dead because he's so cocky, and he's like literally with the two most dangerous people in the room, and they will literally kill you. I mean, you got a psychopath killer here, and then you got the Penguin, who's even more crazy, or very sensitive with some topics and conversation, and he's gonna easily kill you. I mean, he literally killed Alberto easily, and like no hesitation. So they ask him, look, phone in the trade so that they know that you're backing us up with this new drug. That's basically happened. And of course, Johnny starts to like tease and like make fun of Oz here. And something I need to bring up here, Oz doesn't like the name the Penguin. That's something that he doesn't like. So the marker of the Penguin is something he doesn't like, because it's such a like mocking him, because like I get it, I'll rumble like a penguin, it will run that. And here, like freaking Penguin, I thought Penguin was gonna kill him at this point here, where he shoves the phone at his teeth. I thought initially it was like that torture thing when you take your teeth out. I thought he was doing that, which I was like, whoa, but no, it was the phone. He like almost suffocating with the phone. And so after that, scruple, Johnny did call the tray and all that. And so now they're pretty much on top with the tray and stuff like that. So now it forces him to set up the meeting with the leader of at the nightclub. So so we get the kind of the meeting here, and the leader likes the plan that Sophie kind of display here, but he believes the risks outweighs the benefits, as he was talking to Sophie about this new drug and all that. But Sophie managed to convince him in giving it a chance, so earning the Trace partnership. Simultaneously, we got the scene where Penguin, he got his girlfriend, what was it, the Carlo girl and her, her friends, the prostitutes, right, to dispute the new drug, the bliss in the club they're at during the meeting. And then you see that, so Vic became the bag man, where they come back to him, get like reload for more drugs, and he carries out the money inside the bag. So we get that. So while Vic tries, so while we see that, it's a really great scene in the club. By the way, production, the sign, everything is still great in the show. I mean, especially the opening, like with the flood, they look very cinematic, like very much House of Dragon, like dragon level money. So very impressive that. So while we're in the dance here, Victor is trying to dance with a girl that we met in last episode, I think. But in the nightclub, the lights and the music trigger the memories of the seawall explosion. And Vic has PST, so having him a panic attack right now, and he's very shaky about it. And he does get up and kind of control himself, but he goes to the bathroom. And then here, how do you say it? We get probably the scene where this is going to give Colin Farrell his Emmy nomination. Is the bathroom discussion that he has with Vic. So Vic is in the bathroom trying to get push himself from the panic attack, and he gets notification from his girlfriend that she has to take in. She's waiting for her in the train to leave Gotham City. So, and then Oz enters, and he is, very delighted with the new partnership, but he becomes a little upset when Victor wants to leave the night to leave with his girlfriend, and he thinks that Vic thinks that he's a prisoner with Penguin, which is not true.
Andreas, are you doing the whole episode in 30 minutes?
Yes, I'm getting into it right now. Oh, I'm wrapping up right now. Just give me a minute here. I
know
this.
I'm just asking. You don't have to rush. Like, we have time.
Well, I mean, we're getting to Walking Dead, but anyway, let me get into scene. I really like to see here. I know. By the way, very jam-packed episode. I mean, there's a lot going on here. I mean, the fact we got this girlfriend. Anyway,
you covered a really big chunk of the episode right there.
All right. Well, let me finish up this bathroom scene. That's going to be our end point. So give me a minute here. So, Larry. So anyway, so Oz thinks that Vic thinks he's like a prisoner with Oz, but no, Oz is telling Victor, no, you are a free person. I treat you like a student here. So Oz got really upset about this because he treated Vic as his own son, giving him all the clothes and money and all that, and place to crash, right? And of course, he aims his gun at him and tells him he's not appreciate anything he done for him. So Oz knows that Victor is willing to stay with him, possibly because he wants a better life under him, And yes, he brought up his father, Vic's father here, but he's telling him, look, I'm giving you everything you need now because your people in that side of your town that lost everything here. So, he wants everything. So he just tells Vic, if you cannot prove anything into the world or prove your partnership to me, you can go. So Vic steals his car and tries to go and meet up his girlfriend. So let me stop there. So let me get with you, Jeff, because you're the one that interrupted here. So let me ask you about the dinner scene up to pretty much Vic stealing the Penguin's car to meet up his girlfriend, right?
I just wanted to slow your roll a little bit, sir. You covered a lot of the episode right there. We have time, so that's all. But because if you get too far, if you go too far into the episode and throw too much, it's hard to sometimes without the more chances to talk, it's hard to remember everything sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to be on like do an hour for the Penguin and then for an hour for the Daryl Dixon.
Sure.
But yeah,
Sure. I understand.
But there's a lot for this episode compared to Dixon. That's the thing. So just be mindful with the time. Anyway, go ahead, Jeff. What you thought about the Penguin Diner's dinner scene, lunch scene, up to Vic stealing his car to meet up his girlfriend.
I'm sorry if there's an audio delay on my stupid laptop again. There might be one tonight. I'm not sure, but if there is one, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a big swath. I again enjoyed the. I want to just say that the soundtrack has been pretty solid so far. We haven't really talked about that, but I've enjoyed the music that they've had to accompany the episode so far and everything. I've liked the selection of songs they've used and things like that. Yeah, it was very it was a very it was very mob orientated, this episode. It was very like Sopranos-ish, like very, very like Goodfellas-ish. They had a very, which makes sense that you would have that kind of I think they're going for that for the show. That they want that mobster, kind of TV show going on, and they got it. It's good. It's enjoyable. I enjoy the genre, the gangster, type genre. Yeah, the Vic Penguin stuff that continues, and it's really good. I like the chemistry between the two actors. They're really well. They do really well together. And the actor that plays Vic holds his own really well, in the scenes, with the Penguin, which I think is really cool and makes for really entertaining, television. I thought it was. Are we as far as the part where Johnny Vitti fucks what's his name's wife?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was cool. That surprised me. I didn't know what was going on with that chick at the restaurant. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I forgot who she was. So when they just went right from there to the bedroom and them fucking, it was a good scene. The dude in bed, talking shit to the Penguin. I thought the Penguin was gonna kill him. I did. I'm like, oh shit, the Penguin's gonna kill this dude. Like, he's gonna fucking stab him. I thought he was gonna stab him right there at that one point. It was good. And it's good to see. It's always cool to see how much pull the Penguin has in Gotham, with the underworld. He just has these connections and this pull, where look what he managed to pull off. You know what I'm saying? He got the fucking the boss's wife to fuck the dude. Come on now. That shit's hardcore, I never said anything about the relationship with Vic and the girlfriend that Vic has or whatever. That was cool. I'm glad they added that as more context for his character. I thought that was cool that they added that dynamic. But I'm glad that they got rid of her already. I'm sure she'll come back, but I like Vic with the Penguin. I don't want him leaving. So, Sophia's really good throughout the episode. She's interesting. Her relationship with the Penguin is cool. Their dynamic is interesting. Watching them kind of iron their shit out, kind of. You can tell that there's a little bit of tension there. Between Sophia and the Penguin, kind of. It's in every episode. I've noticed it. So it's been interesting watching their relationship grow across the span of the episodes. And besides that, I really can't think of anything else. Besides the drug stuff. Yeah, that drug looks cool. It's very, very interesting looking. I'd try it on the show if it was real. I'd do it right now. you know, Bliss or whatever. As long as I don't get in trouble, I do it. You know, why not? It looks cool. So, you know, like if it looks cool, you should definitely try it. Making Vic the bag man was interesting. You know, like then he got high. I don't know how he got high. I never saw him take one of those things. I don't know how they were doing that drug, but I never saw him like take it.
No, he wasn't taking it. He was just doing his job, really.
Yeah, but he got high off of it. That's why he had that flashback, right?
No. He was working. It's just the noises like the music and the nightclub thing
okay.
triggered like his PSD right away and having a panic attack. That's what happened. I mean, it's very loud.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That's what happened.
Yeah. Oh, is it loud in those nightclubs?
I mean,
those dance clubs.
I mean, I own a nightclub in my timeline. It's very loud. So
it's not that loud. It's not that loud.
Well, I don't put it that loud in my club, but I mean, in this scenario, it was very loud in this club. But I don't know.
I thought he got high off Bliss. I thought that he was high. You know, but I guess I was wrong. I thought maybe he somehow took it.
Yeah, I thought so too. But when I did a rewatch, it wasn't that. It was the sound that like triggered his PSD. It was so quick how his attack came. So it may look like it was like he was having like this drug illusion or something like that, you know. But
I'm surprised that no people like jumped on the ground and picked up those vials when he dropped all those vials. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm surprised no drug addicts did it. Like, oh, free drugs. You know,
that was cool. That was cool that he was seeing his girlfriend there and all that shit. I thought she was there.
Yeah. That really nice lady he met in the Penguins apartment last episode. That's pretty good. The girlfriend showed was in the vision in the the vision. Yeah, well, when they saw the explosion from the end of the Batman. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No, okay,
it was
okay.
Cool. That was cool. I thought she was there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Anyway, anything else, Jeff? Before we'll go to the Cyber here.
No, I'm done.
Okay, awesome. But yeah, before we go to Cyber here, good points on the whole Vic and Penguin relationship. I don't think we're gonna see her again, so I'm very happy about that because I think they're the best duo that I like about the show, and hopefully Vic does survive from the show because I will be very sad that he will die. Anyway, Cyber, what you thought about the lunch scene up to pretty much the Penguin and Vic bathroom scene?
So one thing about this episode is they're really focusing on the relationship between the Penguin and Vic, and giving you kind of a little bit of a backstory of PTSD for Vic, along with kind of the evolution of the Penguin from the first episode to this episode of his relationship with Vic. And so you definitely get a feeling from that diner sequence that Penguin is very happy with him being there, being kind of like his confidant, his friend, his, kind of his sidekick, kind of his protege. And you kind of get that feeling throughout this whole entire episode that that's all Penguin really wants, is he wants somebody to kind of be his friend and at the same time kind of be a mentor for somebody. And so that scene where he, basically tells him that, you should, tell everybody to fuck off and not, try to correct you when you're stuttering, it's kind of that mentoring kind of thing going on. So you definitely get that from that scene, which was really played out very well by both. Now, leading that through to them, discovering this new product that Sophia has shown them, the Bliss, to them confronting that one dude by using the prostitute to lure him in, which was really an awesome play, and getting him to basically call the warlords in Chinatown, to keep cementing their deals, which was a really great idea. And yeah, when he shoved that phone to his throat, I was like, that's fucking crazy. Come on. Don't kill him yet, Joker. I mean, Penguin, don't kill him yet. Don't kill him yet, please. Keep him alive a little bit longer, please. A little bit longer. And, basically, him just telling him off was really awesome. And I love the look on Sophia's face as he's doing it. It's like super stone face. And she's like, just like, la, 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 la. And I'm just cracking up and thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, she really must be kind of psycho if she's like not even phased by this at all. And I'm like, that's great acting. That's some great stove face. And that scene was just really crazy and fun. And then the whole scene where it shows where they're making the bliss and it's all over those mushrooms. Now, to me, that sounds like it's a fungus. It's some sort of fungus that they're creating to be as a drug. And which is very common, with drugs in this world. A lot of drugs come from, mushrooms. There's, there are mushrooms that people consume. There's stuff that comes from the mushrooms that people consume. Like that can give you a hallucinogenic experience or a different type of feeling. And I thought that was really clever on their part through the series, using something that was different than like marijuana or cocaine or crack or something like that. It was something different. And that was fun to see. And I thought the mushrooms looked really cool with those red spuds all over him and stuff like that. That was really cool. And I thought, that scene was really great. Oswald really, trying to, keep his fingers in as much as he can to control kind of Sophia, but at the same time leading her to think that she's calling all the shots. And you really see that in that scene. Then you have, them basically, going to the club, selling the bliss, and basically having their conversation with the warlords, and trying to convince them to take this deal and become the next drug empire. And that whole dance sequence was really interesting, really different. One of the fucking songs during that scene just was amazing. Oh my god, I can listen to it like a trillion, bazillion, gazillion times over and over and over again. It was just such a freaking amazing song. And I just remember thinking that whole sequence was very much like mafia, Sopranos feeling type of deal vibe going on there. And that's one thing about this show is that it definitely feels like a crime drama. It does not feel like a DC, superhero show or a DC villain show or anything like that. It actually feels like a real crime drama. And I think that's super impressive with the writers and stuff like that. So I think this sequence here really shows kind of they have a really good knowledge of crime drama. But all these different chicks that they're using in this scene were fun to watch. They're all in those, sexy outfits and stuff like that. So that was fun to watch. It was a lot of eye candy. And it was really interesting. And then leading up to him having his panic attack, which was totally like, I kind of felt it was coming. I kind of felt like he was going to have like some PTSD type of things going on, especially after how the beginning of the episode starts with him reimagining the death of his family. He's definitely something that he's still working through. And, this is going to be hard for him. And so I feel this is going to play out through the whole, season. But I thought that was kind of interesting how they played that out, where it just came on all of a sudden, which is what panic attacks really do. Panic attacks will come out of nowhere. You are not expecting it. It just happens. And that's exactly like they played it really well and really like realistically. And I like that. And I thought they did a good job with that. And then that one chick wanting to dance with him as he's having this happen. I'm like watching it. And I'm like, I swear to God, I've seen that chick somewhere before. And I'm like, where have I seen her? And I get it for the life of me, couldn't figure it out. But I'm like, she looks so familiar. But then at the same time, I'm like watching it going, thinking to myself, I'm like, like, is this girl going to become kind of a bigger portion of the season now that, the girlfriend has left? And but getting to what you guys were saying about, you think that she's not going to come back. I feel we're going to see the girlfriend again eventually. I don't know when, but I feel by the end of the season we'll see some more of her. She'll pop up at some point somehow, for some reason. but I definitely don't think we've seen the last of her. But leading up to that great scene in the restroom with the Penguin and Victor is a amazing scene. Really well done. Definitely Emmy nomination worthy. I mean, I think there's a lot of scenes in this episode that are Emmy nominated worthy, or just over these first 3 episodes, there's a lot of Emmy nominated worthy scenes with Colin Farrell, with certain dialogue and stuff like that he just played so well, and it just was so well done. And that conversation between him and Victor was just like, really showed to me like what I was saying earlier about how he wants a protege, he wants a friend. That came out in that scene beautifully and perfectly done by Colin Farrell. And I think that, you know, in the long run, we're going to see by the end of the season, if Vic is not dead, he's going to become a big time player with the Penguin, and he's going to become his official protege. And I think that's kind of where it's leading to, which will be probably might be a part of the actual second Batman movie, the Batman movie. So who knows where that go? Because this is definitely, they said, Matt Reeves said that this is a segue into the Batman Part 2. So whatever happens in this is what's going to segue into that. So I feel this kid that Victor, this actor that's playing Victor, if he does succeed to the end of the season, I feel we'll see him in the Batman Part 2. But overall, really great scene. When he decides to get in the car and drive off, I was cracking up. I was like, "You idiot! You're causing problems, man. You're gonna get fucked over if you continue with this, bro." But to that point, really great portion of the episode. Absolutely loved it, and I thought it was a really solid portion of the episode.
Yes, I agreed. It's so funny. It's just me being a Batman fan. I cannot believe out of all the characters in the Batman universe, Penguin is having his Robin, which is funny, and this gives me some confidence that if I don't know if they're going to do the Robin thing for Batman, but like this is such an interesting parallel between the Penguin and Batman. Like they, like you got, of course the Penguin is very different from the comic books here. This is the blue collar Penguin, and I really appreciate the way they're building up the Penguin as this major threat for Batman in the sequel. And I really enjoyed the Vic thing. I hope he does survive, because I think, because you could definitely see how Vic can be very conflicted between his criminal life and then the good life that his father wanted to have before the death, right? So yeah, very interesting stuff what they're trying to do here. I agree with Cyber. Like the fact that it doesn't really feel like a superhero show, not a Batman show, is very impressive by these people. It just shows me that Matt Reeves know what he's doing with the Batman universe, which is great, because it's always frustrating when you got a show that has potential and doesn't achieve it. Here, this show is really reaching its potential, which is really great. So speaking of relationship, one other relationship that I also like is the Sophie and Penguin relationship, and we got teases of it throughout these first 3 episodes that Penguin was her former driver, and we know the fact that Penguin was the rat that told Falcone about the murders or whatnot that Sophie's doing. So back at the nightclub, Oz and Sophie start a argument. They start to like have a very personal conversation about the past that they did. Penguin confessed that yes, I did it for selfish reasons, to rise up to the ranks, have his own club, be the right hand man of Carmine, what we saw in the Batman. And still Sophie is still protecting herself from the Penguin. She doesn't trust the Penguin at all, despite what they accomplished this night. And then out of nowhere, this was so exciting. The scene, they get ambushed by a van. One of the passengers is Nia Marone, the wife of Salary Marone, who orders their execution after discovering that he was a double agent. I was like, what? And then, of course, after this, you get Victor. Of course, back and forth. We see Victor arriving at, the girlfriend's, like, the bus stop, but he doesn't get off the car. Instead, he just drives by, and so he doesn't leave Gotham at all with the girlfriend. So that was very interesting. So he's gonna probably stay with the crime life. So he comes back to the nightclub. He arrives and he knows the events. So he prompts him to crash the car and killing one of the Maroon's henchmen. And Oskin is in the car, which he gets so happy because he was happy that his boy's back. Oh, my boy, Victor came back. You saved my life. Oh, so even now, this friendship is going to be the bromance that we never going to expect. So they drive off, leaving Sophie behind. So let me get to Cyber. We found about the conversation with Sophie and Penguin. Penguin confessing that yes, he did it for selfish reasons to rise up, and to pretty much the end of the episode. This is pretty much the last part.
All right, so the conclusion of the episode is done really well. That whole conversation between Sophia and the Penguin is really done well. That's when that great song was playing. I absolutely love that song as they go outside to talk, and him basically confessing is totally, I feel, just kind of a way for him to keep his claws into her, to keep her in the game. And so he basically tells her what she wants to hear so that she keeps on playing along with him. And so I think that whole emotional outburst for him is partly true, but at the same time, it's definitely manipulated so that she feels better about herself and goes along with it. And I do think that, Oz feels bad about, what happened to her because he does have feelings for her like a little sister. And I definitely feel that came across in his speech. But at the same time, you can definitely see where it went bowed and went down and up and down and stuff like that, where you could tell that he was manipulating certain words to get it to where he wanted to go. And so, basically kind of her her trusting worthiness, definitely shows in that sequence as you see her soften up and kind of go with Oz and kind of, want to make it. But then all of a sudden, one of those, the what's the last name of that other crime family?
The Maronis.
Maronis. When the Maronis pop up, I was like, oh shit, what's going down here? And so, she pops up, which that actress there, she's been in a whole bunch of things over the years. She was in X-Men Last Stand. She's been in a whole bunch of different things over the last, 50, 60 years. And she's one of those great classic actresses that's always fun to watch. And so whenever she pops back up, I'm always like happy as shit to see her. I'm like, nice, she gave her another role. And so it was fun seeing her pop up as, this Maroni character. And then, basically there to kind of get back at Oswald because we've been watching you. And I'm like cracking up going, you've been watching. I'm like, Oz knows that you've been watching him and he's bringing you right to where he wants, And so, when Victor pops back up after driving back from the bus station, not going with the girlfriend, and he sees what's going on and him running that guy into the car, I was like, damn, that's awesome. I'm like, woohoo. I'm like, yeah, take that motherfucker out. And I was just cracking up, thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, that guy got smashed. But yet he was still kind of after they pulled the car back after he crashes and he's kind of still alive. And I was like, that motherfucker would be dead. I'm sorry. His whole body was smashed, man. He should not have even been a whole piece there. They should have showed some gore, him in half or something. That would have been a little bit more fun. And, but at the same time, you're just kind of whoa, he really hit him with that car. And even if you look at the front of the car and how smashed it got, you're just like, God damn, he was going fast. And, when Victor hits his face into the airbag too, that was done really well. I thought that was an interesting shot showing his face going into the thing and then being all beat up and stuff and his nose bleeding and stuff like that. I thought that was done really well. And them speeding off and him what about Sophia? He's and Oz is just fuck Sophia, let's go. And you're just kind of like, okay, there's the real Oz about Sophia. There's the real Oz. Exactly the same Oz that, put her in Arkham Asylum for, however long she was there for. And, them basically speeding away was like done really well. And just a great close to the episode. I thought really well done. Some great action right up there at the end. Him smartening up at the end was really great. And just overall, just a really solid performance by everyone in this episode. So a really great conclusion to a really great episode.
Yeah. Jeff, pretty much the end of the episode, sir. What you thought about it?
Well, it was quick. I mean, the episode went right from where we stopped last time. There wasn't really much left. We went right. We got right to his girlfriend leaving, like we talked about earlier, which I was happy about that. I really didn't think Vic was gonna honestly go with her. So that wasn't really shocking or anything like that. But she was cute though. I guess good for Vic. Just a remark on the scenes with the deal with the head of the Chinese mafia or whatever, or the Asian mafia. That was dope. I thought that was cool. I like those scenes with Sophia and the leader talking and all that. That was interesting. And it's interesting watching the Penguin sort of manipulate Vic almost, because that's what he's doing in a way. You know what I mean? I take it that way. He has everything. He has all the right things to say to Vic to get Vic to stick around. And as much as I love Vic, the shit he's doing with the Penguin is not the best shit. But he was Johnny on the spot again for the Penguin, saving his life and all that shit. I can't imagine what's going to happen in episode 4 with Sophia. That was a big, interesting ending. They left Sophia on her own. So I'm assuming we'll start off in episode 4, they'll go back to her and we'll get to see what happened, But yeah, it was very interesting. Good ending, very solid, very, very, very much another extension of another great episode, just like episode 1, just like episode 2. Another great episode in completion. I really enjoyed it. And hey, the show is going really well. It's really enjoyable, very watchable. I look forward to watching it, and it certainly keeps your interest. So hats off to HBO.
Yeah, no, I agree. Question: do you think that? Wait, so big question here. Do you think this was a trick by the Penguin telling the Ramones to do this ambush so that Sophie can really think that he's part of with her? Because I was shocked that the Ramones went to do that, and I was just thinking about the Penguin. Maybe he did it behind, we didn't see it, but he maybe called the Maroons to say, hey, we're doing this because they know that they're going to do this drug thing, right? This thing, they're going to continue the drug operation. What do you think, Jeff?
I wasn't sure what was going on. I really wasn't sure. You know what I'm saying? So, until we get to episode 4, I don't really have anything to say.
Yeah. Cyber?
Definitely the part of his plan, his overall plan. You could tell because he knew what was going to happen, and just like in every situation that he's been in so far in the season, from the time that they almost Sophia was gonna slice his arm off, to all that kind of stuff, he is one step ahead in his progress of what he's trying to do and what he's trying to do to overtake all the gangs in Gotham, and so he lured them there for this instant so that he could use it as some sort of clever way of helping Sophia become more and more believing into him and wanting to trust him and to, be a part with him. So I definitely think that was part of his plan.
Yeah, because I feel because it was so convenient they did that. And I just had a feeling that that was the way for Penguin to trust her, because she still, from this episode, still doesn't trust the Penguin at all. Yeah, so before we wrap, I just want to say to Jeff here, next episode is going to be a huge Sophie focus episode. I saw the preview for the next episode, and it's going to be very spectacular because we're going to see the Mark Strong coming from Cone Gunner version. So I'm very excited for next episode.
That's right. HBO Max does they release teaser trailers for every episode of their shows, don't they?
Yeah. If anyone knows, after the end of the episode, it depends on how they do it. YouTube, they release a day of. When you watch it on Sunday, it's after the credits, and you see the preview for the next episode. I saw that. I was like, oh, it's going to be exciting. So, Jeff, rating. What's your rating for episode 3?
I'll give episode 3 an 8.5. There was a little bit of a dip. I felt like it was more of an establishment filler type episode, but still very entertaining and very, very high level. So yeah. 8.5.
Okay. Cyber rating.
Giant 10 across the board, sir. It did everything I wanted. It was excellent. It was fantastic. It was entertaining. It kept me intrigued. And all the performances I thought were done really well. So yeah, giant 10 across the board.
Awesome. I'll be the middle point here. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. I thought this was really a really great episode. I was so surprised how good a filler episode is. It gave us things that we were kind of questioning, like Vic's background. So I was very happy they explored that, which is good. Developing more of the Sophie Penguin relationship, because that's the best part about the show, and I'm very happy they're continuing to explore that. So thank you everyone for joining us for the Penguin episode 3 review. I hope you guys enjoy it. Now we're gonna do is a trailer, and then we'll come back and do Daryl Dixon season 2 episode 2 review. So Jeff, it's take it away.
Cyber, are you gonna take off, brother?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I haven't watched any of it.
Yeah, let's plug him out.
Okay. Well, no, we'll do plugs at the end of the show. We'll just say goodbye. Cyber,
okay.
It was good seeing you, brother. Thanks for coming on with us.
Of course.
Enjoyed the Cyber with you, sir. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Good to see you.
And we'll see you on Wednesday.
Most certainly, people.
See you tomorrow.
Later.
See you tomorrow, Cyber.
See me tomorrow. Yep. Scream. Scream on middle-aged man reviews.
I forgot. Scream. I'll see you Tuesday.
Oh, we're all gonna see each other tomorrow.
Excellent. Have a good night, guys.
It's a busy week.
Yeah.
Yo, you know how we were like, we didn't understand, like. That scene in episode 1 where Janae popped out and Daryl could have killed her, but he didn't kill her.
Yeah,
he had to reload or whatever.
Yeah.
That scene made no sense, but it looks good in the trailer. It does.
That's true. Yeah. It was in this trailer. I was like, wow. Yeah, it's true. Oh my god. Let's before I do the recap for this whole episode, Jeff, what you thought about episode 2? I thought this was much better than episode 1. I thought we got more. We were moving along with the plot, I think. What you thought?
Oh yeah, real big bounce back episode.
Yeah,
for Daryl Dixon, real big bounce back. I mean, episode 1 got. I didn't go out and like search for like all of the reviews or whatever for episode 1, but I saw some bad ones online. For episode 1, I saw it on YouTube, and I saw online some pretty rough reviews for episode 1. So big bounce back. Great pace, just like Penguin. Great pace, in this episode. Really felt like season 1 again. Yeah, that same kind of feeling, like you're watching like the Walking Dead quality, TV again. You know what I mean? I felt like episode 1 was a step back from season 1. Honestly, even adding Carol into the mix, I felt like it was a step back from the finale.
Yeah.
In episode 1, you know? So it was a weak episode for me. It really was. Especially the Carol scenes were weak. But she bounced back in this episode.
Yeah.
They used her differently. You know what I mean? Like her scenes were different. There wasn't as much exposition, you know?
Yes.
As there was in episode 1. It was more like normal Carol, like where there was more action, you know, and like more emotion, you know? Yeah. This is liverwurst, by the way. Good stuff. You like liverwurst?
No, I thought that was a salami you were eating.
No, it's liverwurst.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It was good. It was good seeing Laurent.
Yeah.
You know, again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
the actor has really aged a lot. Like,
yes,
you know,
he's like taller now. Like he got tall. Like he got more hair now. Like, yeah. I mean, it's kind of expected with kids, you know. So, yeah. So I thought I liked this episode more than episode 1. I mean, as a Carol fan, I think I like episode 1 because it was more Carol. But this episode, I kind of agree with you, Jeff. It's much more like the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon episode from first season, you know, because we got more with the characters. Like, you know, like first off, Daryl Isabel's relationship blossom, which I was happy about. The plot line with the kid, you know, for Laurent was very interesting, and like now I'm excited where that's gonna go. And yeah, and then of course seeing Carol trying to find Daryl, but she has to like fight these obstacles that's like in her way. So anyway, I thought this episode did a lot to like get this season back in track, you know, after episode 1, because you know episode 1 needed to get Carol to be at Paris and you know where she needs to be to find Daryl and all that. So we cut back. So the opening scene for this episode was pretty much Carol and Ash landing in some country area called Greenland, and so their plane is pretty much, you know, heavily damaged, you could say, you know, whatnot. And they encounter 2 humans because they save Carol from these like walkers. Their name, I'm gonna butcher this name. Amon and Hannah. These were 2 research scientists who quickly turn on them. And you know, so they were walking for each other. Oh, by the way, how I'm reading this, I'm gonna separate the storylines here and try to keep it like condensed here. So just bear with me, folks. So you get this one. The lady Eon wants to forcibly use Ash as a sperm donor, which was crazy, to produce kids. And then while Carol convinces Hannah, the other scientist, to help them, Hannah kills the other lady, only to be killed by Ash, who was unaware that Hannah had changed size. Crazy, like, this interaction with these people. So, and then we come back. So let me stop there. Actually, so what do you thought about this opening here with the 2 scientists, Jeff, and seeing Carl and Ash, you know, dealing with these people, and what do you thought about this section?
Well, the intro, that, you know, and the rest of the episode flowed really well. You know, like it starts off like at the nest with Daryl, and things are calm. You know, like you know, like there's kind of a build up for like you know the episode there, and some good like expositional stuff with Laurent, Isabel. You know, the guy, I can never remember his name, the head of the nest, the head guy.
Saran or something like that. Yeah.
You know, it was cool seeing Daryl coming back from their mission, you know, and coming through and saving Emil, right? And Emil's girlfriend was all happy and shit, right? You know, because that's her guy, you know what I mean, from season 1, you know. So that was cool. And you know, it was surprising, I guess, that Daryl asked Isabel to go with him to America. You know,
yeah.
I thought that was a big jump for him as a character, like, you know, like in their relationship or whatever, for him to go like that far. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big jump from like episode 1, where he was just still like gonna go on his own. You know, now all of a sudden in episode 2, he wants her and Laurent to go. You know, like, that's a lot of baggage. But Daryl, hey, you know, like, that's cool. It was just a big leap for him as a character. You know,
maybe
like
I don't know. I think he spent a lot. You know, spent enough time with them to like really make that decision. I don't think.
Let's be honest. During The Walking Dead, nobody would have ever. It would have never like. It would have made no sense. It would have been weird for Daryl to ever have like a romantic scene, you know, or like have a love interest. You know what I'm saying? He just isn't that kind of. He was never that kind of character on The Walking Dead. He was not that kind of character. You know.
No,
like,
no.
He had relationships with women. He had friendships with women. You know, like really close ones. But he was not like the romantic type. You know what I mean?
I mean, they could have done that with Carol if you think about it. Back in the original show, like, I mean, I know that there's an age difference, but like, I mean, they're like literally compatible couple.
Yeah, but they had that. Yeah, but they had that very unique friendship. You know?
Yeah.
Like, there was Daryl's. There was Daryl and Carol's friendship, and then there was Rick and Carol's friendship. You know, that were like really great friendships. You know what I mean, for Carol. You know.
Yeah.
And like her and Daryl were really tight. If there was any chick that he should have got with, it would have been Beth.
Oh. Yeah, I can see that. The other one I was thinking was the mute. She's a new character we haven't seen. It was the girl from the Eternals that was the speedster. She was in the show, and I thought she was going to be the one for Daryl.
Isn't she like 13 years old?
No, she's like older than him. Here, let me
She's not older than him. Fuck you. She played Sprite in the Eternals.
No, not that one. You idiot. The black girl from the Eternals that was the speedster, the speed power.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I'm not talking about Sprite.
What was her name? I forget the Eternals' names.
Yeah, her name was Makari. That was her name.
Makari. Okay.
Yeah, that.
All right, that chick was on The Walking Dead.
Yeah. That's the one I'm talking about. No. Sprite was not in The Walking Dead.
I was gonna say she was like 13 years old.
No, hell no way.
This isn't like the Rings of Power with Nori and Poppy, where they're like adult women. You know what I'm saying? And I can make fun of like they just look like they're kids.
Oh my god.
So it was a great intro. Good job. I can't remember how far you wanted to go, but it doesn't matter. They did a good job incorporating a lot of the main characters right into the episode right from jump.
Yeah.
I really thought that the scenes in Greenland or whatever, where they met that crazy couple, I'll tell you the notes I wrote down for for those scenes. I knew that chick was going to try to bang Ash, the Asian chick. I was like, this chick wants to bang Ash. You know what I'm saying? That shit was so eerie. Those scenes were so eerie. Like, the whole time, the minute we met those characters, you knew something bad was going to happen. It was like, this is bad. You know what I'm saying? Especially the scenes with Carol and that one chick. They were really eerie scenes. Really, you knew it was going to be bad for Carol. It was only a matter of time. You know? Like, it had that Walking Dead buildup, that tension. That, going on. And so I knew that was going to be bad. But I was actually kind of disappointed that Ash killed that chick with the flare gun.
Yeah,
because she was
like
she was fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I like crazy characters like that.
yeah. Oh, I thought for me like I think it could have been useful to have another person that knew about the area and knew where like the walkers are, because Carol doesn't know about these like other types of like well I like she hasn't faced these like different types of walkers that are like acid, like like the acid enhanced walkers, super strength walkers,
Are you,
like
are you talking about the superhuman walkers?
yeah, like because you don't know, like maybe this scientist knows about that, right? And like she could have been useful to
Well,
to warn them.
she fought the underground walkers.
Yeah,
Those that's cool.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. By the way, those were creepy. I was not expecting that. That was very horror like. I thought that was a scary moment. I was like, no. Oh man, that was crazy.
It was very Walking Dead nostalgic.
Yeah.
All the knife fighting and all that shit. You know what I mean? It reminds you of the Walking Dead. But
No,
it was
no.
good. That was really good. That whole stopping in Greenland deal with the two crazy chicks. That really that really fun to watch. And it added something. It added like something to the episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good start to the episode.
Yeah. So and then as Jeff brought up of the Daryl sequence where he's teaching. So we'll get into the next one with Daryl where he's teaching Laurent about baseball, right? And at this sequence here, we see like the down to the parts of like the castle and their duties, right? You seeing the other nurse, not nurse, the other nun, Emily, right, the friend of Isabel, getting back to her like lover that we met in first season, right? And then of course, Jeff brought up, the pop of the question from Daryl to asking Isabel to her and Laurent to come over to America, which kind of makes sense. I think he grew so attached to these two, like it makes a lot of sense for him to say that. Now, after this happens, we get this very intense thing where after after the night, let's see, let me put my notes here. Yeah, so like uh, uh all of a sudden during the night, Laurent is suddenly kidnapped, and so the whole team of like Daryl, Isabel, um Foray, and Emil are launched to rescue the mission for him. And so uh I, so we got that, and so we see them like you know going how you say yeah, so like uh going to find these like Laurent in the area of French, right? But then something happens here. So Sylvie, one of these other characters from the show. I just trying to figure out which one is Sophie here. Sorry about this mess here, because I was trying to find the right kind of like notes for this show compared to the Penguin. I could find really good notes for the Penguin. With the Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, it's like they just shrunk. They don't give you the right sequence here. So let me get here. So Sylvie, this other character, discovers that the Laurent's kidnapping was just a ruse from the people in the castle. So what happened was they're trying to get rid of Daryl and some of the people that are around Laurent, an ambush that fails. And so before being killed by Isabel for his treachery, right? The other guy, the traumatized Emil explains that the Losran or the actually let me get this name right here. Bear with me, folks. Let me get this name, Saran or something like that. The leader from the castle was worried that Daryl could take the boy away, and is planning to test Laurent's potential immunity of having him being bitten by a walker in public. So that's the thing. So if you remember last season, uh, we had like this weird flashback where Laurent, like Daryl had like this dream sequence where like that maybe this kid is immune to the disease that created the walkers, right? And me and Jeff speculated that was like maybe just a thing that could happen, but they didn't do it. But apparently these people do believe that he is immune to the Walker's disease. So they are planning to do a ritual where Laurent is going to be bitten by a walker in public to everyone in that castle. So, Jeff, what you thought about this ambush about Daryl and that this kidnap was, was a fake to like get rid of Daryl from Laurent, right? And then the main villain plot of like using Laurent to be bitten by a walker. What you thought about all of that in this episode?
Yeah, it made for good entertainment. You know,
Yeah.
it made for an interesting episode, and it made for something, a nice wrinkle to add to the story. You know, like for this season to have this problem in the nest. Now we'll see what happens in episode 3, right? Where this
Yeah.
goes. You know what I'm saying, with the ceremony and all that shit. But it was some really good action, without question. The whole rescue Laurent scenes, where they were trying to hunt him down and all that.
Yeah.
And at first it takes you a while to realize that it's an inside job. It doesn't, you don't realize it at first. So, I really enjoyed that section of the episode. It was very entertaining, very action packed, just like the Carol stuff was in the first episode.
Yep.
Did we go as far as when Carol and Ash get to France?
Not yet. I'm getting to that right now. So let me do that now. So so Carol and Ash land at the racetrack outside of Paris, and Carol searches for her missing friend, which leads her being taken by Durant's people. So we get that surprise thing where she's taken by Durant's army there. So that's very intriguing. I was surprised she's like already been taken. So I'm very curious if Carol next episode is going to see Durant, and so I'm very curious about that. Also, in between this, while they're waiting for the low tie, or for Daryl, for them to like come back or try to find Laurent, whatever, Daryl and Isabel kiss. So their relations blossom. We get them kissing for the first time, and so they're now lovers. And I was kind of happy. I mean, like, look, Daryl is a ladies' man, and he's, he has encountered so many beautiful women. I'm surprised he has not gotten into a relationship. So this is happening. So I was like, oh, cool. And then after that, we end this episode. So we're pretty much wrapping up this episode here, where Durant personally torture Caron, the older soldier, the main villain from last season, whose brother got killed by Daryl, who was like chasing him during season 1. And last season, in the finale, season 1, he took the coordinates of the nest is at and the watch, and of course, Durant didn't believe what happened, so he's pretty much being held prisoner for information what happened. So he's being tortured, unaware of his possession of the watch that's showing the nest location. And then we cut to the episode being done here. So Jeff, tell me about this whole sequence of Carol, landing in Paris and all that. Durant, her being captured by one of Durant's people, Daryl and Isabel kissing, and then pretty much the whole like final episode there, sir.
Well, it made for good television,
Yeah, yeah.
I thought the whole twist with having Carol get picked up by Janae's people like that just worked,
Yeah.
And we'll see what they do with it, but we still got a lot of show to watch before we get Daryl and Carol together, right?
Yeah.
So I like this wrinkle of adding her getting kidnapped by Janae's people, right? Carol is very she's really good. She's very cutting, and very good on her feet, got it. She's really smart. She's really head smart. So I'm sure she'll figure out how to get out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like eventually, like
Yeah.
she'll get out of Janae. She'll get away from Janae, or at least
Oh, yeah.
survive like her time with them. So it was cool seeing Isabel tell Daryl that she was going to go to America with Lorette and all that shit. And yeah, just a really great bounce back episode.
Yeah.
Great action. Great scenes when we saw what's his name? Corduroy again.
Yeah, Conroy. Yeah.
We saw him getting tortured. That was cool. With Janae, I like Janae. Janae's a good villain.
Yeah, I really like her as a villain. I'm happy she didn't die for the first episode. That'd be kind of crazy if she died. So despite how convenient, how contrived that scene was from last episode, I was happy that she didn't die because she's such a great villain for Daryl,
That's pretty much all I got, sir. I really enjoyed the episode. It was a great episode, very watchable. Really established a lot of stuff for episode 3. Really set us up for a good episode next week too. And I'm just happy watching the show.
Yeah, no, same here. This is a great bouncing back episode, as you say, Jeff. It was fantastic. I was very happy to see the other characters play again. So we got 4 episodes left. So like enough time, before we get Carol and Daryl put back together. I think my guess, like if we would do a guessing game, I guess they will be back together either 5, like towards the end of 5, and then like we get them together fully in episode 6 for the finale. And we know the series is.
Sorry. I'm sorry I missed you last night.
Oh no worries. Look, I did the show. I did well, so that's good. Thank goodness I did the other solo podcast I'm doing in my channel, so I was very comfortable doing that. So I was very fine. I didn't stay too long to do that Nightmare Elm Street 4 for the Infinite Mystery.
I knew you would do okay.
Yeah,
I just totally forgot.
Oh no worries. And look, and I explained this early today, folks. Aston had technical difficulties, so he was unable to come. He texted me like the day of about that, and no worries. And Cyber had like another commitment yesterday. He notified me ahead of time, and that was fine. So no worries. I mean, I got other shows and also guesting this week with Screen. So. Let's do ratings. Any rating for episode 2, sir? How you rate this Daryl Dixon one?
I'll give it a 9.
Cool.
Really strong episode. Very watchable. Really enjoyed it. Very entertaining. Good bounce back.
Yeah, I agree. I'll give it 9.5 out of 10. I thought that was a very strong episode. Definitely, if you didn't like the episode 1, I think this one will be your jam, which is great. So. Let's do the plugs here. And speaking of plugs, funny enough, so as everyone knows, me, Jeff, Cyber are going to be back again together, the 3 amigos, for tomorrow for the Middle Age Men podcast for the 1996 classic slasher film Scream tomorrow. So check us out. I don't know when they're going to send the links, the time. So we're this is my first time joining them, and Cyber's been doing podcasts with them, so he knows the drill. So we're going to be together again, but another podcast. So please check out tomorrow about the Scream podcast. So that's going to be fun.
Their episodes don't come out until weeks after you go on there.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I noticed that I actually been listening to their podcast. I listened to Rechtenstein, where Cyber's there. I know they posted just recently the Night of the Living Dead. I think Cyber's there. So if you know their podcast format, that's how it is. Thank you, Jeff, for correcting me on that. And then Wednesday we're gonna be back again to do Africa Alone episode 4 review. That's when going to be excited because apparently I heard episode 5 is going to be a big deal next week. So
episode 5.
Really? Is this episode 5?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. This is episode 5. This episode is going to be important. Apparently, there's going to be a big surprise. Apparently, I heard. Uh, I like the break room. Streamcrest brought it up because they had the screeners for the first episodes, but they didn't get episode 5. So something is going to happen this episode. So we'll see. Anyway, and then Friday, is there a movie review? Because that's something I don't know. I
think it's Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh really? Okay, so we're doing Nightmare on Elm Street review. On Friday. I guess the classic. I guess the 84 version.
Friday the 13th.
Okay, so we're doing Friday the 13th. Awesome. If you guys are Jason Voorhees friends, we're gonna do that Friday. So anyway, Jeff, plugs, sir.
Good job, Andres.
No problem. This was a better episode week discussion. I think because Penguin had more discussion here, and then Dixon, which is good. Yeah. So hello, everyone.
You did pretty well. You probably could have you probably could have went a little bit longer on the Penguin, but you did okay.
Yeah. We trying to make these out, as you say, hour long. So
no,
there was
you know what? I understand it's a tough job moderating.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. I don't know. It was weird. So long discussion. So anyway, I just posted Alien vs Predator Firestone Part 1, a new comic series to read for the Halloween seasons. Check that out. I did Katrina Bell Dresses Part 1. Check it out. Doing good. I did the Nightmare on Elm Street 40th anniversary yesterday. So I did that solo, which is great. Check that out. I did a short for that as well to connect that. So yeah. This Wednesday I'm gonna do my solo recap on the Penguin and Africa Oman episodes, episode 3 and as well I think episode 4. So that's what happened. Oh yeah, a lot of discussions.
Your channel is looking so much more interesting now. You got lives, you got shorts.
Yeah. You need to experiment, right? You need to experiment. There are certain things to be interesting. Instead of just sticking with the same formula. So anyway, I just want to say thank you, Jeff. This was a fun tonight, so I'm very excited for tomorrow. It was very fun. It was funny. I knew Cyber was going to come in the Screen podcast, but I didn't know Jeff was coming. I was like, oh, that's cool. The three amigos are going to be together again tomorrow.
Oh yeah, so I've guessed it with middle-aged men more than anybody.
Oh, cool. What episodes you did with them? I definitely need to check out.
God, I did.
Oof. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna say they were the best shows I've ever been on to like listen to or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if they were the best shows to listen to or anything, but I did the dude, the Big Lebowski, and I can't remember what the other ones were off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've been on there, but I've done a couple movies over there.
That's cool. Okay, and then I understand. I know. I know Saber's been doing a lot with them. I know.
Yeah, I enjoy Matt and Tim. I like Matt and Tim.
Yeah, man. Tim.
I like Rick.
Yeah. Oh, Rick. Yeah, I don't think I met Rick. This is going to be my first time. I think meeting Rick.
You've met Rick before. You met Dungeon Master.
Oh, Dungeon Master. Okay, I guess I remember him. I don't know.
Dungeon Master. Rick, Dungeon Master.
Is he the one from the Crow review? Like he was the first time there? Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay, I'm good. I was like, who's Rick? I was like, who's Rick? And then Dungeon Master came up. I was like, okay, I think I remember him. So that's cool. That's good.
He's done a couple shows in the Bleeding Edge.
Yeah. I don't think I had there was one movie I think I did we did it together. I just remember what was it. Yeah. Can't believe halfway through the year.
You've met a lot of people on the Bleeding Edge, so you've met a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I already know half the people, I know Ramon, I know Matthew, Matt, Tim. Dungeon Master, Cyber U, and then a couple others.
You know lots. Well, you met lots of people, man. You know Kyle from True Believers.
Kyle, True Readers, yeah. Kendra, then
John
oh God,
from Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion,
John from Mad Trivia podcast.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's 2 years with you guys. It's fun.
2 years? It's been 2 years.
2.5 years, if I had to say it, because not yet. We're not like yet 2 full years. Yes,
not 2.5.
But I mean, we're not done yet this year, right? Like we're halfway through 2024. So when we're done with 24, I can say 2 full years with you guys. I can say 2 years since with you guys. I cannot say.
I guess it's been 2 full years.
Yeah.
But you know, my memory's not as good as yours.
No worries. My memory is pretty bad sometimes. I'm like, oh, this happens and all that. Anyway, yeah. I think that's it. We can go get out.
We're out of here, folks. Peace. We love you. God bless you. God bless our pop culture guy.
Yeah.